the corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by betonline.ag. Hey there, Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns. Just want to comment and say BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for football, baseball, boxing, golf, and much more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary tight end Jason Dunn. JD, how we doing, brother?
What's up, my brother? How's it going? How you doing? How's everything going, man? It's a long week. It just seems like a long week. We know we're ready to get into the long week because we know, okay, Thursday night, starting it out, and then it's just we got to watch everybody else, which is fine. I think it's a good time to kind of take a break, take an assessment of everything, and just breathe a little bit as a Chiefs fan, right?
So, yeah, it's a stress-free week. We can just be football fans this week and not have to worry about our team at all.
Right, yeah. So give them a nice little goodie. I just sent this out to everybody on Twitter just to let everybody know we're going live right now. So hope we'll get some people, get some feedback coming in, to see somebody come into the show. So it'll be good.
Yeah, we already got one right here. KC Colossal, best Chiefs channel on the tube. Appreciate you, KC Colossal.
Yes, sir. KC, man, he was in here last time talking it up with us, chopping it up.
Oh, yeah, he's a day one fan, man. Day one fan. Obviously, with it being a bye week and not much going on, JD and I have a few topics here that we want to get in to talk to you guys about. We're sticking with the offense because right now I don't think we have any much Chief concerns with the defense. More so, we have more questions and stuff on the offense that I wanted you to tackle. Obviously, with your resume and your track record, there's one question I really wanted you to talk about, and we're going to get into that. Then, of course, we're going to end the show with a little something of JD giving wisdom to Chiefs Kingdom. So it's going to be an interesting one. I can't wait to see what JD has to say to all the Chiefs Kingdom fans out there to see what they what Jay's got. Because a lot of people, there's a mixed bag. You have some people who are very stressed out about the 7-2 start. Some very happy with 7-2. Some who are not so happy. But I'm curious what you have to say to everybody to give them your kind of wisdom to going into the bye week. So we'll end the show with that instead of game picks. In our usual game pick selection, JD will give us the wisdom. Yeah, JD. So a bye week as a player, just in the bye week general. Before we get into the topics, how exciting is it to kind of get to the bye week for a player? It's like, do you guys see that as like, because obviously it changes for every team, right? It's not, some are week 5, some are week 10. But like, is that like more like, oh man, like it's a halfway point kind of thing? I mean, how is that like, or how do you guys treat the bye week?
You know what, man, it depends on the season. It really does. And you never really want your bye week to be early. You want it to be a little bit later than everything else. And this is like kind of the perfect part because it's like halfway through the season. And you want it to be something that you're looking toward where you can actually just really take a break. And, if you have some bumps and some bruises, this would be a perfect time for guys to just get away. And the thing is, because you've been doing football for so long, especially we're talking about, this is mini camps, spring camps, staying ready, training, training camp, obviously the season, preseason, every single week. This is just a good break for everybody just to kind of just relax, and blow off some steam, take it easy, go places, and just as we've seen Patrick Mahomes and Brittany were up there in in Minnesota, right, with the Timberwolves. They was at a game, weren't they? I think they were.
They're at that. I don't know if was it at Dallas or was it at Minnesota?
Dallas.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Dallas because there was. I think he's a Mavericks fan, so he's watching Luka play.
Mavericks. Okay. Well, yeah, that's a good place. Yeah, I see that. Just a quick little thing, but yeah. So that's good. So you see things like where guys can actually get away with their families and kind of go and do a few things. Sometimes it's on the coaches as far as like what they do with the players too. Like how much, what do they actually allow them to do? Coach Vermeer was one of those, man, that was notorious to make sure guys didn't get too far away from the building. He let you have a few days off and he kind of spread it out. That way it was like, if you wanted to go somewhere, you couldn't go away too far and really kick your feet up and get too comfortable. But it was always something that he wanted to at least be able to keep his thumb on you somewhat, if you will.
Yeah. What do you make of so I saw some Chief fans, obviously Kelce's always is on the microscope, even more so now with dating obviously, superstar Taylor Swift. He's going, and I've seen some people talk about it as far as like knock him for this. So he's going to Argentina in a different time zone altogether to go see Taylor Swift at a concert. What do you make of that? Because I mean, the whole like traveling in different time zones and traveling all over the place, like obviously that's that can affect the jet lag aspect of things. I mean, what do you make of Travis doing that? Obviously, it's his personal life; he can do whatever the hell he wants, bye week and stuff. But like, I don't know, like going Argentina of all places. What do you make of it? Because I've seen a mixed bag. Some people are killing him for it, like, you're doing this to your bye week. We're going to be back. We're going back to play next week. It's not the end of the season, like. So, what do you make of that?
If he was a first or second year player, I'd be like, absolutely not. I don't care who your girlfriend is. But considering this Travis Kelce, and he's a professional in the things that he does, the best in the business for a reason. I know he's going to take care of his body while he's there. And the thing is, they had to sign off on it. So, if any of them think it's okay, and he obviously they're thinking about the decision and the choice, that is something that you go in and go out. Which I've seen guys, go down that way, Brazil, Argentina, the weekend, a couple of days, and come back. I don't think it's such a big deal. He'll be able to come back and make that transition that he needed to recover. So I don't think that's such a big deal. But this is me. We're talking about a Pro Bowler, one of the best tight ends in the game. I don't find anything wrong with it at all. To be honest with you. I just think because it is Travis Kelce, like you said, and because of Taylor Swift, who he's keeping company with, is the big issue in itself, right? That people want to talk about.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe, now, here's the thing. With the bye week being what it is, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. I think it might have been a bigger issue and a problem when it was the Broncos when we were playing and he was down there at the baseball game.
Yeah.
That in itself might have been a cause for concern. And I think you said Nick Lowry had said something about it, but Travis said something about it too, right? And to him, he's like, yo, man, like maybe it wasn't a smart move. Okay, maybe the optics of it, was what was wrong, right? And even though he performed, fairly well in the game, actually pretty good, I think that's what it is that kind of drives people, because it's like, man, you're just gonna be flying all over the place doing whatever you want to do, and so. To some people might look at that as just being kind of a loose cannon, if you will, right? The critics, why is he going? Why is he doing this? Why he's doing that? But Travis is traveling all over. There's certain people that know how to travel, okay? Certain people that know how to do it. And so maybe other people just don't have that luxury, because to them, they can't really understand how that works, like the whole traveling aspect.
Yeah.
Like you have your own flight plans and may be able to get a PJ down to somewhere and get some things done. That's a whole different experience of traveling.
Yeah.
So, it's not really too big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus we don't play again until Monday. So we have an extra on top of the bye week. We have an extra day on top of that,
Yeah.
And we got to jump start playing in Germany. We got to jump start on the day because that means our day ended before everyone else is beginning in Germany. So we got to kind of jump start on the bye week.
Right. Yeah. So it's not that. It ain't that big of a deal. Shoot, man. Look, let guys go and have a good time, right? Let them just relax and get away from the building. get away from the naysayers and all the other stuff that's going on. You're hearing it everywhere. So look, relax, take it easy, just enjoy yourself, just get away. So I think it's important.
It's a long season, especially for us. I mean, we talked about it in the offseason as a topic, as far as like what was the I guess the fatigue of a championship fatigue. I mean, we're playing till February, then we're playing again. I mean, every year we're playing deep into the season. So like, let these guys enjoy themselves, because we're going to be playing deep into the season again. So yeah, people are always going to find some way to have some control and solving the blame game, a way fans feel some control. Knowing equals control. Yeah, 100%. That's our guy Keys. That's 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, because somebody might look at that and say, well, maybe this is the reason why, they're not successful. This might be a reason why things may not be going the way that it's going. And also, too, look, but like you said, these guys are professionals. Like it'd be a different thing if this was a first or second year guy, okay, who hadn't established himself. That might be a different issue altogether. And I'll be the first one to sit there and say that. But a guy who's been playing the number of years he's been playing at a high level he's been playing, I have no question or no concerns about what it is that he's doing on his time, because I know he'll get that situated the way he needs to.
Yep. He should be able to have a personal life just like all the other players, no different. Yep. Susan, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You got HD Dream in here, JD. My favorite tight end. What's up, my guy? There you go.
Going on? How's it going?
Got a lot of fans in here.
Man, hey, we love it. We love it. We love the fans. We interact. Man, look, this is an open forum. We want everybody to come and talk, say what you need to say. We love having that. My boy Matthew Amberg, what's going on, brother? How's it going?
Yeah, we got a lot of dudes in here tonight. A lot of everybody. A lot of men and women tonight. All right, so we're gonna begin with our first topic. Something that's been kind of, a lot of people have been talking about it. As far as this is the one I want to get you to talk about here a little bit, JD, because I'm seeing so much of this chatter from fans, other Chiefs content creators on YouTube, talking about a way to rationalize why we're seeing a limited in snap counts for Kadarius Toney and Jerick McKinnon. And the number one thing I'm seeing is loosely quotes. I mean, this is most of the stuff I've been seeing, though. They are saving them for later in the season and the playoffs. So we're saving Kadarius Toney, a guy who we saw as the number one receiver going into the season. We're saving him for later in the season. The guy gets 7 snaps week 9. And then McKinnon, we've seen him utilized a little less than we saw him last year. And the guy was our second leading receiver on our team last year behind Kelce. So since you played in the league, you know what coaches are doing. If they're sitting guys, they're waiting to use them in January. But what do you make of what's going on with Kadarius Toney and Jerick McKinnon? And we talked about it briefly this week about this whole waiting to utilize them. Can you kind of talk about that? Just because I just it's the most ridiculous thing ever. And Andy Reid's not going to wait. If a guy can help a guy now, our team now, we're not waiting. So please break that down. And why do you think we're not utilizing them right now?
Okay. Very good questions. So the first thing I'll address is this. Are we holding Kadarius Toney McKinnon to later on in the season? And to be honest, this is just my opinion on it. I have never really seen a case where you hold a guy toward the end of the season to say, hey, we're going to use him until the playoffs, when he can be utilized now, right? And here's the reality is this. The only way you're going to be good at football and understand football is if you play football, okay, and be ready for it. And so Kadarius Toney may be getting some reps in practice. He may get just a few reps in the game. But I would find it hard to believe that his volume will go up by 500% or whatever it may be, where he's going from 4 snaps to now all of a sudden he's getting, 40 snaps a game, right? To me, and we could say, obviously, his history of him being hurt and his injury could be a factor. But also, too, I think you got to get a guy like that going. I think you have to get a guy like that going. And so why not give him more volume that they can see what he can do and how he can help, especially if there's things that we are, without a doubt, we're struggling in, right? Which one, it would be short yardage, for one, okay, in the red zone, number 2, but also, 2, maybe the deep ball is another one. I see there's plays that he could absolutely do. He can catch the back fade, going on a down route. He runs pretty good routes. He's just not a slant gadget guy. And I think if we regulate him just doing that, then we're limiting what actually the possibilities could be offensively. That's how I feel about it. And so I think the notion of just waiting till Anthony to the playoffs to use this guy just doesn't make any sense for me. Okay, and so this is Andy's holding back the play. To me, it doesn't make any sense because it's the same thing like the whole like Keys is making. Why would you hold the playbook back? Wouldn't you want to give volume to a defense to see? So if I'm giving a volume of offensive plays for defense to see, if I'm running 50 plays out of the same personnel, same formation, whatever it may be, then a team is seeing all those different things. He has no idea I ran the same play since week 3, right? Because there's so much that he has to look at, okay, all throughout the entire year, which makes it very difficult for defense to get ready for. Now you can't determine what we're going to run because we done ran 50 plays out of that same formation and whatnot, okay? But if I'm taking it down to 20 or 15, then it gives the defense a little bit better, way to dictate what we're doing or, what they can see. Same thing with Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon has been a weapon for us. We've seen him being utilized last year that he was able to just make a run toward the end of the season when he was just absolutely lighting the field up. He scored touchdowns. He was putting the ball in the hand of a playmaker, and he was making plays for us. So I don't know why we would sit there and say we're saving Jerick McKinnon for later on in the playoffs, especially if we can help us in the offense, especially in fields that we know we've been struggling. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I just don't, we don't espouse to that belief and those thinking. I have never, ever seen that in my life. In the history of me playing or coaching, I'd never say, we're going to hold this guy until, wait till playoffs, and then we're going to let him go, turn him loose. For what reason? Why? Like the frustration in a player, how do you explain to a player that's just what you're doing? Hey, man, don't look. I know you're only getting 4 snaps, but hey, when playoffs come, guess what, man? We're going to utilize you until your legs fall off. It wouldn't make any sense. That's just that would be an antithesis to what you're trying to do to become a better offense. I think that's what it is, man. So I don't know why they're saying that, but hey, man, I don't know.
JD, I just want to give a shout out HD Dreaming. Love you, brother. Love you. Thanks for the contribution to the channel, man.
Appreciate it, my guy. Appreciate you.
The one thing that, especially when it comes specifically talking Kadarius Toney, we're saving him, and I've seen people say, and of course these are content creators, these are other people just spitballing like we do. And the one argument that I have against that, it's like, okay, we're saving Kadarius Toney. We literally played him, so he got the meniscus tear, and everyone's saying, it's injury concerns. We don't want to get him hurt. We want to keep him fresh for the playoff run. If that's true, week 1, he was literally the first game back from his meniscus tear that he had, and he pretty much got all playing time that game. He had the million drop game. Right. He played pretty much all snaps in that game. And all of a sudden, week 9, now we're holding him back. If anything, at that week 1 time was the time to give him the 7 snaps, 8 snaps. Maybe we rushed him back too soon, but the fact that we're holding him at this point, that doesn't make any sense to me. That logic doesn't apply here, at least for me, because at least for Toney, because we're not holding him back anymore. Because obviously, week 1 we unleashed him right away, right out the gate when he was recovering from the partial meniscus tear, and then week 9 he's getting 7 snaps, and then one play he does get last week, that one catch he had. That's juice we're talking about, JD. That's real juice we're talking about.
Right. And the thing is, like you said, the first week of the season, because I think that was part of our concern. We were saying, well, look, Kadarius Toney, do we need him the first game of the season? Obviously against Detroit, okay? And we utilized him, but was it something that we ran back on, okay? And I don't know if that's something that we really wanted to do, but we did it. So, yeah. So now, later on, now you don't want to use him? We've been talking about the wide receiver struggles all during this time, and Kadarius Toney hadn't been getting any reps like that. So we have been struggling, been talking about MVS, okay, who's been getting a lot of reps, a lot of snaps, okay, particularly so because he's the highest player. He's, supposed to be our number one receiver. They looking at everything, right? MVS, Justin Watson, Rashid Rice, he's earned every bit of his snaps that he's gotten, right? It makes sense for him.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you start looking at guys and what their production is, because this is production, look, this is performance business, okay? That's what it's all about. It's all about the performance here. And so if we haven't been getting that performance out of guys who's getting a lot of the snaps, then you have to start thinking, well, how come this guy's not getting more playing time than this other guy? This other guy right here is not really making any plays for us. What do we do? So, man, I think you have a point there. It doesn't really make any sense to me. I think part of the reason that maybe is still trying to figure out what guys can do. Okay, still trying to get the most out of guys that you're letting play. But it is, man. I'm absolutely just I can't wrap my head around the whole Kadarius Toney not being able to play, man. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Appreciate you, Berg, man, for the love, man. Definitely. But the thing is, man, when we sit over here, we're watching this. When we're sitting there, we're talking about offenses are struggling. We're talking about wide receivers not getting open, right, or not running great crisp routes. Then why not put a guy in that is better suited for that? Why not put a guy in who can actually take the top off of defense? He's a first-round pick for a reason, right? Because we understand his talent. We know he's a playmaker. We understand those things. So what's the issue? I really can't put my head around it. But I think, to be honest, with this bye week, this is what this bye week is all about, okay? What they'll do is they'll evaluate the first half about what's been working and what hasn't been working. Who's been getting off, who hasn't been getting off. Who's delivered and who hasn't delivered. And so are the times that Kadarius Toney does come in or Jerick McKinnon comes in, they do produce. We do try to get the ball. So it should just be on screens or a little slant. Let's give them a little bit more, complex plays to run, okay? Things we might not been as good in. Let's give them some other things on it, though, too.
JD, so our guy Keys has a question for us. Lots of calls for KC to pick a starting 3 wide receivers. And this is something we've talked about, getting rhythm. And we're never going to get rhythm if we keep rotating 8 receivers in there a million times over. We talked about with the running game beginning part of the season, like Pacheco's never going to get going if you keep splitting up the carries. And we finally have started giving him consistent double-digit carries. So who would be your 3 receivers, JD, if you had to trot out 3 guys?
If I'm doing 3, I would make it that my core group of guys would have to be 4, and that 5th guy would have to be the one that's changing in. So I wouldn't necessarily do the 3. I had to say the 4 that I had to lean on all the time. Without a doubt, Rashid Rice. This is the ones that to me have earned their spots and their positions. Rashid Rice, Justin Watson. I've seen. Sky Moore has been, and I think because what Sky can do, I think he's more suited for the slot. Okay. MVS, I think MVS is another guy. He's got to be one of the 4th or 5th guy on their rotation, just for the simple fact of what we brought him in to do. Okay. And it's catching the deep ball, taking the top off the defense. Kadarius Toney. So that's got to be the rotation. Kadarius Toney, Justin Watson, Rashid Rice, MVS, and Sky Moore. The top 3's got to get with the lion's share of what you do. Kadarius Toney's got to be their 4th guy, okay? And Sky Moore's got to find himself in there too. And so you always look at the 5th guy to battle it out. Does he warrant getting more snaps? Does he get more snaps than that? So yeah, I like that. Justin Watson, Kadarius Toney, MVS, and Rice. Yeah. So I think that's where you have to go. That's where you have to go.
HT Dreamin', appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the love you guys are giving us tonight. Really, really, really appreciate everything you guys are contributing to the show. That'll help us go a long way as far as making the hats that everyone's seeing, that the one JD's got going on right now. That'll go a long ways towards getting more merch out to you all. But yeah, JD, as far as the receivers, I know Keys with that question there. I'm going Rice. I'm going Watson. But for my three, I would probably go Tony. And again, we know he's got an injury plagued career. But like, we're never gonna know how injury prone he is if we're getting him 7 reps a game. And maybe they're just trying to keep him healthy. I don't know. I'm just guessing as to why. But as far as who's a guy who's giving us juice when he does touch the ball, he is electrifying. And then at the 4th spot, I'm probably going to go MVS. MVS is just giving us more than Sky has. Sky would be probably that 5th guy who's rotating in at that point. But MVS provides, of those 3 between Rice, Watson, and Tony, MVS is more the burner of all those guys. Like he's the one that can blow the tops off, which it's just interesting that we really haven't tried a lot of that this year with MVS. It seems like every time Mahomes steps back to throw a bomb, it's usually to Watson, which is just, which is interesting that MVS is not that guy. I mean, maybe they're, I have to look at the all-22 film to see how they're guarding him, but yeah.
Well, okay. So this is where I'm gonna go with it. All right. So because let's go on and get into conversation. All right. So let's go on and get into it. So and we'll do a little bit more deeper dive into some of these things. I have a little bit more things I have to say about what I'm seeing out there on the film. Okay. And everybody has every right to disagree with me on this. But I do believe, as far as some of the plays that I've seen being ran, is not taking advantage for what they do. Okay. And so I don't think that we're giving our guys an ample amount of opportunity to play to their strengths. Okay. And when I say that is this, MVS, because of what he was able to do up there in Green Bay, is the reason he came down here. Okay. Pure and simple. And that was to take the top off the defense. That's what he was dangerous in. And I believe he still has that ability. He's dangerous in that. We have not given him enough where we just give him 9 routes or deep post and just tried to take the top off the defense. In my estimation, I don't see that. I don't see enough of it. And so why would you all of a sudden, it's like, why would you bring somebody in, like for me, like a big guy to run reverses? Like it didn't make any sense. Okay. And I've seen that. I've seen that from training camp to where we are now, we still have a problem figuring out what guys could do. Okay. So same thing, like Keys is talking about Sky Moore, and it's what I'm thinking in my head. We had Sky Moore run a couple of, reverses. I wouldn't say the strong suit. That's just not what he does. He's great in space, smaller receiver. He can find windows, comebacks, flats. He does a great job of that. I think it's a strong suit. Kadarius Toney, he's a guy that has an ability to take the top off the defense, comebacks, double moves. We need to see a little bit more of that. Okay, the juke routes. Tony, Sky Moore are those guys for that. Justin Watson, MVS, Kadarius Toney can take tops off the defense. I didn't even name one guy that we're forgetting about, okay, that we brought back here is McCole Hardman. Okay. Apologize for McCole Hardman because McCole Hardman, before these guys got here, he was doing all of that. All right. So let me bring his name up. Okay. And I think that's the reason that he needs to be spoken about in this conversation. Because as much as we sit there and some people don't like McCole Hardman made plays for us. He made plays taking the top off the defense. He's one of the fastest guys on our team. McCole Hardman needs to get some playing time. He don't need to learn Patrick Mahomes. He's been doing this offense. He's been doing it. He's been doing it longer than anybody else out there on the field. So I apologize for McCole Hardman not naming his name because that's the reason we brought him back, for him to bring him some juice. Okay? So I do believe McCole Hardman needs to be in that top 5 receiver. I do. I think he needs to be in that rotation. Okay? And I think that's why you have to figure these things out. So, yeah, I'm going to sit there and say, look, lion's share of these things, Justin Watson, Rashid Rice, Kadarius Toney, McCole Hardman, and MVS. And the Sky Moore, if you gaining, reps, then so be it. Let it be that. But without a doubt, I think there's things need to be evaluated, what guys do well, okay, and stick to that, okay? I really do believe that. I really do believe that. That comes from Nagy. Not only from Nagy, but that comes from the wide receiver coach in Embry, okay? What I'm seeing a failure to do also is the route running is not as crisp. I watched the dig route, a basic route. I'm going to talk about my boy Berg on here because he knows. I've seen it. It took him 6 yards to get out of a basic. So when you run in a route, which is 12 to 15 yards, okay, basic route, that's what it is, 12 to 15, maybe 18 yards, it should never take you 6 yards to come out of your break. To me, that's lack of discipline. That is lack of technique on what it is that you're trying to do with this route. The same thing we run the deep routes, running deep posts or comebacks, and I don't see any movement with the head or anything, like not even a stick at the top of the route. You're not even getting on top of the defender. That corner route that we threw to MVS, I'm going to go on my red right now. The corner route, MVS got on top of him, but then he didn't stack him. He didn't get on top, where you could put him on his back hip, right? So you went in this route, you get back on the top of the defender. When you have him, now you can go a two-way go, okay? If he's playing man on him. Now you really got it. All you got to do is give him a head nod or just a fake somewhere. He's going to go for it. Then you open him up. Scott, that one to throw at MBS where he wasn't able to get it, he should have been more wide open than he was. Another thing was on that throw, Patrick didn't have a chance to actually step into it. You see the pass, he wasn't able to step into it. So that's the thing. It's just like little things like that I'm seeing some of the route running. It bothers me. It absolutely bothers me because I'm sitting there like, what is being coached here? What are they doing? Okay. Now, we are, as coaches, we all coach different ways. We all have different philosophy, but there should still be somewhat of a understanding what these things are, right? Component to understand what the philosophy, what we're trying to do. Everybody should be coaching the same way. Shouldn't be any different from what Nagy wants on this route or Andy wants on this route. Everything should be consistent. And I don't see consistency there. It's another one. Attack the football. That's right. Ball in the air, we should be high pointing it. Guy that I played with for a long time, I know they may know his name. His name is Tony Gonzalez. Okay? All right? Tony Gonzalez was probably one of the best high-point receivers I've ever seen in the game. Okay? To the point where I used to get on him and say, man, why do you don't like catching balls over your shoulder? Okay? Why don't you like doing that? And that's another thing, too. Certain guys like catching balls a particular way. And TG would say, hey, look, JD, he said, I love catching the ball, fronting it up or high pointing it. It's easy for me. It's like catching a basketball. It's like catching alley-oop. It's easy for me to do that. I said, but when you catch it over your shoulder, you can catch and run with the football this way. And so we would have this talk and this conversation amongst, pass catchers and tight ends. Right? These are the things that you had. But he was so good at high pointing and catch the ball over his head that when you threw it up, he said, just throw the ball up. I'll go get it. He would tell Trent that, or Damon, or whoever it was at the time, throw the ball up. I'll go get it. And he knew he would. He'll catch it between 2 or 3 guys. Well, we didn't see Sky Moore go up in the end zone. We didn't see MVS go up for one over the top. And so those things like that bothers me about not going up high pointing the football. Like you should be practicing that. And I'm not. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. I don't know.
It is interesting though. Obviously this is 2012. So when I played D2 ball, and I was always taught to go up and get the football. That was always taught. My brothers taught me that. My high school coaches always taught me that. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I was a slot receiver. But when I got to college, the system that we were running was an air raid system. And they were breaking all the receivers' habits. Instead of going up to high point the ball, they were telling us to throttle down to catch like this. They're saying, that the technique they wanted to teach us that the throttle down method was for if you do have to go jump up for the ball, referee's not going to call pass interference on that. But if you throttle down, cornerback DB can come into you, and that'll, they'll call pass interference. And I don't know if that's, as you see more air raid going around the country now, I don't know if that's something that's being taught to these guys. And even if it is, JD, I mean, NFL coaches will break those habits, right? I mean, they should.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you should never think, well, I'm playing to get a pass interference. No. You should know that, like in the course of just learning, wide receiver skills and techniques, when balls may be underthrown. Okay, then you learn how to do that. Then you learn how to do those things. So the thing is, that's something that a player that's played a lot, they know that you can throttle down to catch the football.
Yep.
But it's haul and tail. All right, that's why sometimes you see some receivers, and it's a short ball. They don't even turn around and just come fight for it.
Yeah.
When that ball is in the air, that ball is yours, okay? Make no mistake about it. We talked about this, okay? When we're in the meeting room, we understand that football, okay? That football, where's that sucker at? I got one. I know I got plenty of. That is your livelihood. That is your livelihood. That's how you make money. That's how you win games. That's how you score touchdowns. That's how you make your money. Is that ball. And when that ball's in the air, nobody else has that but you. You got to go get that, okay? So even if it is, if the ball's thrown short, you got to go and try to go get that ball as much as possible. Because sometimes the defender's just not going to turn around, right? And you just got to, you can't, sometimes you throttle and you see guys throttling down and then the ball's overthrown.
Yep.
Well, why is this guy jogging? He shouldn't be jogging. He should be hauling tail the whole way.
Yeah.
Every route, Al Saunders, we're going to get Al on here. Al Saunders said, you make every route look like it's going to be a 9 route, like it's a go route, like a streak. Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one. So my philosophy has always been that, look, when you come out of and I know a lot of guys, when you set guys up, you set them up at the line of scrimmage because it's man, right? But as soon as you do, go. I mean, it's full speed. It's full speed. So not only that, but also putting your foot in the ground and getting out your break. Get out your break. Why does it take you 6 yards to get out of your break?
Yeah. And you're seeing a lot of that where Mahomes has gotten pissed off at receivers. He's saying come back to the ball on those. Where
football, finish the play.
It's like a lot of drifting upfield on those routes. It's like, come on, that's receiver 101 right there. That's route 101 right there, JD.
Man, drifting or just waiting on the football to get there. No, attack the football. If you know the ball, you got a comeback. Put your foot in the ground, you come down, and you give him hands and everything. You extend your hands. Don't catch it with your body. That's another thing. Okay, we could go over all these different things, right? I coached receivers for a couple of years. When you talk about coming down, you come attack the football with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Pat said, man, keep coming back to the ball, right? These guys in the NFL are too fast and they're too good. When guys look like they're open, that window closes quick.
Yep.
I'm telling you, we talking about top athletes of the world. Okay, let everything look easy. So sometimes people say, well, is he open now? I watched, I think Seth Kate was doing an evaluation. He had a good breakdown of it. If this certain route was open or not open, okay. Certain guys have responded and responded in particular ways. And so the thing is, when you look at it, it determines whatever the defense is giving you, what they're running, man or zone, what the coverage is, obviously, but also too, make no mistake about it. There's a reason Patrick Mahomes is the best in the NFL. There's throws he can make that other people just cannot make. Touch throws and all those different things. The first year, there was a couple of touch throws that Pat was short on, that he was trying to make and didn't get enough on it. He didn't get enough on those things. So, like baseball. He's got a baseball background. You think he can't throw accurately at certain spots? I mean, shoot. It's in his DNA. I mean, his pops was a pitcher. Been playing baseball for a long time. I'm a baseball player, okay? I know there's certain throws, like I go, and when I attempt to play quarterback, I always like to play quarterback when I was a coach, because that's how you want to do. You standing back there, try to look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
All the throws I wanted to make was pinpoint, and it's just that baseball, following through, trying to get that in, trying to get into that window. But these things need to be talked about, need to be discussed to get these things down to a T, to know exactly what it is that you're expecting out of these guys. Exactly. And these guys got to know it. They've got to know it. And if certain guys ain't getting it done in particular routes, give that route to somebody else. Okay? And in NFL, when you had your shot, we gave you a shot to run this play. I used to laugh all the time because when we run like a trick play, of course we give it to like a wide receiver, pitch it to him to throw the little okie doke, the wide receiver deep pass. If that sucker was successful the first or second time, it's scrapped. Like you had your chance and opportunity to show what you could do. You ain't coming back to it. No, we got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. And so that's what it was. So I just this whole bye week, and I know it's kind of short, but you can get a lot done during that time.
Yeah.
Get a lot done during that time. So
yeah. Hopefully they can work out the kinks. And JD, this is the one thing I wanted to. So we're sticking with the offense today. Like I said earlier in the beginning of the show, we don't really have many defensive concerns. We have some offensive concerns, but we're going to talk about them. So this is a stat that I saw yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. And I'm sure a lot of the people who think the Chiefs are done and awful, I'm sure they're stunned by it. And I was shocked by it. But the stat, it shows that the offense really isn't struggling. We have a 3-and-out rate of 25%, which is the lowest 3-and-out rate in the league. The world-beating Eagles and Ravens have more 3-and-outs than us. Yeah, I mean, I think they were tied for 30% as far as their third-down rates. But I mean, again, this would come as a shock to people who are screaming and shouting that we need to fire Matt Nagy, we need to, bring in DeAndre Hopkins and Mike Evans, and everybody. But JD, what do you make of this stat? And is this pretty surprising to you?
Is it pretty surprising? You know what? They sustain drives. They do a good job of sustaining drives, between the 20s. They do a good job, right? From 20 to 20 or 30. But they do a good job sustaining those things, moving the chains. What we're not very good at, obviously, is the short yardage in the red zone. That's our problem. It's our Achilles heel right now. And so as much as we find that rhythm between those, right, that course of the game, in between, right, the midfield and whatnot, we're just not getting it done when we need to. Scoring touchdowns. That's the problem. That is our problem. And so it is somewhat surprising, especially when we start buying into this narrative about how bad everything is on the opposite side of the ball, right? Oh, they're terrible. Every sports show talks about it, okay? Every single sports show talks about it. The guy that was doing our game, Dan Orlovsky, he was talking about, I'm just like, Dan, can you talk about anything else? If you one more time talk about how bad the wide receivers can't get open, this and that, I'm about to go through this TV, okay? And the thing was, you keep creating this narrative about to define who guys are, and everybody believes it because they listen to all the sports writers and all these different people out of the media and whatnot, and they're talking. There's context there that you need to have a really deep conversation about, okay? Because it's not like just a little sound bite, or you get in and you create this whole thing and then you say everybody's terrible. Pacheco has been doing particularly well. Offense has, okay? We're still one of the top offenses in the NFL. We are, okay? I know everybody don't like hearing it because it kind of breaks all the narrative about the Chiefs being terrible, right, on offense. But a lot of it had to do with obviously Travis Kelce, okay, Pacheco doing a good job as he was. But defenses are going to do what Miami figured out. You're going to double, triple team Travis Kelce. Okay, if you don't hit him on the line of scrimmage, you have to figure out where he is and let everybody else around you beat him. That's how it's going to work. And so when I'm sitting there saying this, we need to understand that we got to get all the other guys going. Okay, we have to get all the other guys going. So what that looks like going forward, I know they'll get this thing put together. All right. And I do believe, like we were talking earlier, it's going to be like this 4 or 5-man rotation. And that's what it's going to be. Okay. If you found yourself in that 5-man rotation, that 4-man rotation, beautiful. Okay. All y'all other jokers, y'all going to find y'all in the back. Y'all going to be able to sit over here with Schwab and all these other guys. Okay. The trainers and the water boy watching. Don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy. So, this evaluation in the first half of the season, see what guys do, Then we give those guys a chance. And if they're not coming up, those guys that's not getting the playing time are going to be hungry. They're going to be hungry. So I think, man, when we this whole full evaluation, man, has got to come in, but that's not a surprise at all. It's not really shocking. It's not shocking to me because I've been watching film. So I've been seeing them moving the football, moving the chains. But you hear everybody else out here, man, daggone. And I'm not saying I don't get on the wide receiver because we do. We get on the wide receivers. Okay, we'll call them out when they mess up, but there's times that, hey, it ain't quite always their fault, like everybody's trying to make it, to be.
Susan, appreciate you. Love you, Susan. The one I guess not surprised that we were up there because we are one of the best offenses in the league, and even though people don't notice that, but I was more surprised that we were number one as far as the lowest 3-and-out rate, just because I don't watch a lot of Baltimore games or Detroit games or Philly game. Well, Philly, they always have primetime games, so I do find myself watching a lot of Philly games. But I figured they would have the best, the best or the lowest 3-and-out rate. So I was pretty surprised by that we were significantly 5% lower than them as far as having a 3-and-out rate. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of what you said as far as from what we're doing as far as 20 to 20. Great, it's that last 20 yards, that red zone area, which we need to improve on, which is a great thing because we pretty much have 95% of 95% of things are going well for us. That last 5%, the red zone, and once we get the red zone rate, I mean, with the way the defense is playing, man,
yeah,
I love it.
Well, we can't talk enough about that defense. We just can't.
I know.
The thing is, Marcus, hey, there's Dunstradamus, come back again, baby. It's telling them all last year that this secondary, that everybody was humming about how bad they were, why we put them in that position. I said, you watch this secondary become the best secondary in football by next year.
You did.
Got it. If this thing ain't happening right before our eyes, right? I mean, it's here. We see it. We're watching it.
Hey, your call was even more impressive than that, JD, because you even said, wait till the second half of the season. You're going to start to see the young guys, everything start clicking for them. And like clockwork, second half of the season, the young guys start clicking, and then the rest is history. I mean, look at our secondary, So and even Karlaftis, you said too. Wait till second half of the season. What was Karlaftis' best stretch last year? The last 5 games of the season where he had 4.5 sacks. So your Nostradamus. If you guys have been tuning in the show every week, JD's onto something. He's got the Back to the Future Part 2 all Sports Almanac is what he's got.
Well, and the reason I'm saying that is because how we had to wait and be patient with this young secondary last year, through all the growing pains and some of the failures that they weren't able to do. We got to do that with our young wide receiver core. Okay, they're a young bunch of guys coming in that is still trying to figure this thing out. But I do believe they are growing. They are getting better. Nagy too. Okay, calling games, knowing who is personnel, all those different things. We got to give them an amount of grace. And so I do believe our wide receiver group is going to be a lot better the second half of the season. I really do, right? It's just it's the patience part of it, man. Nobody loves waiting because, right, we've been successful. It doesn't look like the regular Chiefs offense, what we have seen in the past. And so, yeah, everybody is up in arms about it, right? Oh, what are we going to do? And okay, man, just give it time. I understand it, right? It doesn't look pretty, but give it time. When you have your stars, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, they all telling you, look, we're going to be working on this. Just be patient with us. We're all going to talk about getting better, right? Yeah. So we just got to trust the guys in the room that's going to get the job done.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, JD. So we're going to go to our final topic here. Usually we end the show with our game picks, but obviously bye week, so we don't really have game picks this week. We got a little something. JD's been preaching a lot this week, and everyone on the show, all of our people have been engaging with us. Really love what JD's had to say. So we're going to end our episode this week with a little bye week wisdom for Chiefs Kingdom. So JD, everyone, we've seen the last few weeks since the Denver game, it's been, everyone uproar and all of everything. The Dolphins game happened last week. Everyone was loving what they saw first half, second half. They kind of made a little comeback. And then the same kind of people were talking, oh, man, this offense is not the same, yada, yada, yada. But, JD, what's wisdom that you got that you want people to understand and kind of take in so they can relax until we see our Monday night game next week with the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, the JD Bowl. So both your teams are going to be playing on that one on Monday night next week. So, JD, what is your Chiefs Kingdom wisdom for Chiefs Kingdom this week?
My wisdom, okay. It's nothing going to be, world beating or any of those things. But it's really, it boils down to this, okay. It boils down to the second half of the season, for one, that our defense is playing exceptional football, okay? And they're getting even better. And they've been getting better each and every week. And so just like our defense has started to figure it out, some people were getting back. Nick Bolton is going to be coming back, okay? Barring that we have any injuries, our secondary is the best secondary in football, in my estimation. For what they do on man and who they cover, they do a tremendous job. And we know we got some heavy hitters coming this second part of the season, right? These guys are getting ready for that because we're going to see, obviously, the Eagles. We're going to see the Bills. We see the Bengals, okay? We're going to see those three juggernaut of teams coming in. The reality is we're better than all those teams. We are. Now, obviously, the Eagles have been reloading with as much as many guys as possible. They've been getting everybody and anybody. Hey, they got Julio Jones who hadn't played. I didn't see Julio Jones in 2 years. And they got him. So they're serious about it. But don't fret. Spags and the defense, because of the confidence they've been playing with, the energy that they have, the success they've been given early on, this is going to carry them through, okay? And so I know we could trust in this defense. We could trust in Chris Jones, Karlaftis, Menahu, when the other guys run on the defensive line and start picking it up even more, okay? Our linebacker core is playing great, okay? Willie Gay, Leo Chanel, Tranquil, and when you get the general back in Bolton, going to be even better. We're sitting there and we're looking at this young secondary and Cook, Williams, McDuffie, and Reed. And we got Mike Edwards, okay? We got guys that are going to come in, Jalen Watson. We got guys that's going to come in and they're going to do a tremendous job, cover everybody that what they put out there. Because we could trust them, Spags, trust in them. We could trust in Spags. We could trust in Spags, okay? He's got the pieces that he needed. And he's been teaching them, getting them guys ready. He's been getting them game ready. He's getting them war ready to take on the second half of whatever we've already seen, okay? For this new trek into the Super Bowl, let's not forget this. Mind you, let me remind each and every one of you who we are. We are defending Super Bowl champs. Don't take that lightly. And everybody needs to understand who we are. And all of this hate that's been going out here for the past few weeks, hey, man, keep it going. Keep it going. Because these guys right here, they love to hear that. They love hearing that, and they love lining you up and hitting you dead in your mouth. They love that challenge. But also, two fans, our offense. Let's give them some grace. Let's give them a little bit of patience. Let's get behind these guys, okay? Hey, this is what we got right now. And I'm fine with it, and I'm going to ride with them. And I don't care who it is that's out there, wide receiver, and running back, or O-line, or quarterback, or tight end. It doesn't matter. We behind each and every one of them guys. Behind each and every one of them. Those guys in that room is going to get it fixed. I know for a fact those guys in the room is going to get it fixed. You know why? Because they're built like that. They are built that way. Make no mistake about it. We got the best in the business on the offensive side of football. Okay? We got the best in the business. Everybody's going to get on board. We're going to take it to them. Without a doubt. I have no problem with that. The other team we need to talk to, special teams group. I take this and I'll challenge these guys. And I'm challenging the guys that's up there that's blocking for McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman is a guy who's a home run hitter. We need to do a much better job blocking for this man. Okay? We know Butler, we know Towns, they're gonna get theirs. They best in the business. We got no problem with that. Okay? We need that extra part of what the team is, and that's at special teams. That's the thing we need to get better at. So if you blocking, you're only getting 10 or 15 snaps a game, or maybe less than that, you're making your best snaps you could possibly do. Don't be satisfied with any of that. Matter of fact, this first half, special team wise, you ought to be ashamed of yourself in our return game. You need to get back to where Tobe seen it when he was in Chicago with Hester and all those guys. Tobe, I don't know what you need to do. You need to find it in those guys. You better make that clear and point blank to them what your message is going to be. That's what we need to do. So my message is this, pure and simple. Right here, we riding with the Chiefs. That's what we doing, Marcus. You see that Chiefs Kingdom? That's what we need to be.
Yes, sir.
We need to be the ones behind them, 100%. Love them or hate them, be behind them. You don't like everything hey, that's all right. You don't have to like everything that they do. All right? You don't have to like it. But love it. Love them. In the midst of all these things that's happening, in the battles that they had to fight, not just on the field, but out the field too. In the media and all of that. Don't start buying into these narratives. You stay with these guys, okay? And we're going to be okay. Like we said, my homeland, we trust the PM15. Best in the business. There's been some struggles here and there, right? Because teams are sitting there saying, we're going to drop 7. We're going to make that 7 look different. Make sure you throw it underneath. We can't get in, obviously 3rd and long, 2nd and long. We don't want to be there. We don't want to play in that. Hey, like I said before, you will never go broke taking a profit. Patrick, check downs, they work. Okay? And when you need to let that big arm, let that thing throw it down the field at cannon, let it fly. We need the guys to go take the top of the defense, go get it. That's what it needs to be. So that's my words of wisdom, man. It's just a amount of grace. But you know what? First half of the season, I'm with these guys. I'm with them, okay? They did superb. They did superb. So the thing is, while we watch the second half, I'm going to have an evaluation next week about how I put everything in an assessment of the first half. We're going to make sure the second half, we're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to get a popcorn. We're going to get a beer. We're going to get whatever it is you like, your libation, whatever you like. You get it. You sit back, you watch this, okay? You sit back and you watch this. So if you're going to be the one, stay with the team, you stay with them. You're going to be a true fan, be a true fan all the way, okay? We can criticize as a fan base, we can criticize them, but the disparaging, name calling, all that, that's crazy to me. You want to do it somewhere, take it somewhere else. There's other teams you can take it to. The other fan bases haven't won anything. Take it to them.
Go to Vegas.
Go to Vegas. Suckers smoking cigars beating one team.
Man.
I get it. They deserved it. This suckers been through the ringer.
Mm-hmm.
They've been through the ringer. We don't have those problems. We don't have those issues here in Kansas City.
Yep.
You have them. Cincinnati started to look at Joe Burrow. Then he's, here he goes. Here comes Joe back. Oh, Joey B coming back. Okay. We got something for him too.
We will.
So,
yep.
Still the
JD,
best.
You have me wanting to run through a wall right now. You have everybody in the chat wanting to run through a wall right now. So that's pretty good words of wisdom right there, JD. I think he hit that on the park.
Man, I was being tamed too. Man,
well,
that's how I feel. That's how I feel. But if we don't have that, we all want to run through a brick wall for the Chiefs. Then I don't know. I don't know where you've been, what you've been doing. Okay, yeah. But we love squad.
We do.
Squad right behind them.
I'm a homeland, baby. Chief concerns is what we do, baby.
That's right. That's how it goes with. Okay,
right.
You're gonna hear the truth from us, man. We're gonna come with it. We're gonna tell the truth.
That's how we do it. Always since day one of the show, and even before that. But yeah, that does it for us, guys. We really enjoyed everyone's comments, everyone engaging. It was really awesome. We love everyone who contributed and did everything for this episode with us. JD mentioned it. So Monday we'll be back on our live show on around the same time Monday, where JD will give his grades for the first half of the season. Because every Monday we do the Monday morning tight end. This will be JD's grades for the first half of the season. And after that, we're going to put that in the books, and we're going to do that and go all the way till the end of the season. And we'll be doing a grade after we win bring back the Lombardi, bring it back home to KC. So
That's right. Hey, man, thank you, everyone, for showing up tonight. Come to see us in the live. We love each and every one of you. We love all the love that y'all showing us. Hey, man, y'all keep coming back. Okay, we love seeing you. So our door is always open. We love to chat it up with you all, chop it up. But we wouldn't be able to do this without y'all support. But this is the reason why we do it, man. We just want to engage with everybody and have a good conversation. Okay. Love you guys, man. Y'all be good with everything. Okay. Go watch some football. This, I don't know what type of game it's going to be, but it'll be something.
It'll be something. It's football. Everyone just wants an excuse to watch football.
Yeah, it's football. So that's where you get your fantasy all put together. So mine looks terrible. Mine looks terrible right now. So
I got DJ Moore tonight, JD.
Okay.
Revenge game factor. That's I was gonna bench him for Najee, but revenge game factor against his whole team. But all right, guys. Well, we hope everybody enjoys football this weekend. Just a stress-free weekend, and no Chiefs, just to watch the games and kick your feet up. And we'll see you guys right back on this channel on Monday for some Monday morning tight end at 7 p.m. So we'll see you guys Monday. Love you, JD.
Love you too, my brother. All right. Love y'all. Blessings to you.
See everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,